This is Eagle Owl, and today I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Eagles and the Commanders and why the Eagles will try to snake them. Also, we're going to go ahead and talk about Howie Roseman. He sent a cryptic message to the fans. And lastly, A.J. Brown said Micah Parsons want to be an Eagle, but let's get straight into it. All right, before we hop straight into it, got to shout out today's sponsor, BetUS. Use promo code U2 150. Get 150% boost on your first deposit, and on your next two deposits, get 125% boost. Again, shout out BetUS, and remember, gamble responsibly. All right, so let's get into the quick hits. All right, so the first one is the coaches are crying, man. So it was a lot of press conference talking about the Tush push, and we got Packers, Falcons, Bills, who probably ran the tush push more than us, crying about it. But let me go ahead and play some of these clips.
Bush, and explain why.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. We really haven't had very many discussions about it. I'm sure we will over the next few weeks as we head into the owners' meetings. But so I'm aware that we did, but really haven't had many discussions about it.
What are your thoughts on the play?
Sorry.
What are your thoughts on the play?
I know we're not very successful against it. I know that. But to be honest with you, I have not put much thought into it. It's been around for a while. We've used it in different fashions with our tight end. Again, I think there'll be a lot of discussions about it. I got to kind of look at some of the information as far as injury rates, things like that, to see. But we'll see.
To me, there's always been an injury risk with that play, and I've expressed that opinion for the last couple of years or so when it really started to come into play. The way it's being used, especially a year ago. So I just feel like players' safety and the health and safety of our players has to be at the top of our game, which it is. It's just that play to me has always been the way that the techniques that are used with that play to me have been potentially contrary to the health and safety of the players, and so again, you have to go back though in fairness to the injury data on the play, but I just think the optics of it I'm not in love with.
This should have been illegal 3 years ago. No, the tush push play, I was never been a big fan. There's just no other play in our game where you can absolutely get behind somebody and push them, pull them off, do anything.
You see, they all crying. Oh, players getting hurt, this and that, or it should have been banned. Just stop it. It's one team that's good at it, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. At one point, the Bills were good at it. They just couldn't get it done against the Chiefs. So now, all of a sudden, Sean McDermott won it banned. I don't know why the Falcons want to ban. And hell, I don't even know why the Packers want to ban, because week one, they stopped the tush push a couple times. So I don't know, but it is what it is. It's going to be hard to ban something that one team is good at. But let's see if they can be successful or not, because I'm sorry, we got the best O-line. And I think even if we ban it, it's going to be really hard to stop Jalen Hurts. And then what? We're going to try to ban the QB sneak? Like, come on, stop it. You guys got to stop it, man. And then Nick Sirianni spoke about it, and he think it's completely unfair. And let me play that clip.
I think I've seen some of the stuff like, about what that it's an automatic play, or that it's not we work really, I almost feel a little insulted because we work so hard at that play. The amount of things that we've looked into how to coach that play, the fundamentals, there's 1,000 plays out there, but it comes down to how you teach the fundamentals and then how the players go through and do with the fundamentals. I can't tell you how many times we practice the snap, we practice the play, because it's not a play that it's easy to practice. There's different ways we figured out how to practice it. The complements that come off of it that can create explosive plays. Again, we saw it in big time games this year, and the fact that it's an automatic thing, that we work really, really hard, and our guys are talented at this play, and so it's a little insulting to say it's just we're good at it, so it's automatic. We work really hard at it, and you see it throughout the league. I mean, we saw it in the championship games that, a team failed at it and ultimately didn't end up winning the game because of it. I watch every week. I watch every first and goal red zone fail every single time. And sometimes that first and goal starts at the 1, and you see the team not be able to get in because they're not able to do that. And so I think that it's a skill that our team has because of the players that we have, the way the coaches coach it. There's just so much time put into it. The fact that it's a successful play for the Eagles and people want to take that away, I think is a little unfair. And like I said,
What about the suggestion that it's the only play in which you can push and pull somewhere?
we can't pull.
Right.
You can't pull. I see. We look at all the plays throughout the NFL that happen. One of my guys picks up all the plays because we teach this. When a ball carrier is in a pile, on a run, Saquon's in a pile on a run, the offensive line gets behind them and pushes them. Now, you can't sprint behind them and crush the pile. You can't pull there, but that's something that we see throughout, and we've had some success on that as well. The defense, when the defense is there, like, no one's going to tell the defense to stop pushing. Hey, one guy's enough. You can't add anybody else into it. So I think it's just again, obviously I'm protective of it because we've had success with it. But, again, I think that the competition committee will do a good job of looking at everything. And but I do feel that way a little bit, just like a little bit insulting in that sense of that, because the guys work hard at it, we work hard at it, and you know what? It wasn't 100% for us this year. We missed on some 2-point conversions from the 1. We missed them on some third downs. We missed on some fourth downs. I think we were in the 80% of what we were, and just because it's a successful play for us doesn't mean that it should go away.
Yes, I totally agree with Nick Sirianni. It's just unfair, man. It's unfair, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. We'll see what the NFL do. All right, so let's get into the topics. Let's talk about Howie Roseman sent the cryptic message to the fans. Something in the matter of, yeah, fans, be patient with us, or, the draft is not the end of the off season or free agency. We keep going and going. Something in that matter, Howie Roseman was talking about. So that lets me know, he letting the fans know, like, look, a lot of these guys are free agents and we're not signing a lot of them back. To me, the main priority, and if you ask me personally, it got to be Zack Baun. And it's not just because the season he had. I just don't see the transition on our roster right now who can take his spot and be that guy. Well, Howie Roseman talked about, the linebacker position. Let me just play this clip.
Everything really is player dependent. When we talk about situations, it depends on the quality of play of the player, the person that we're talking about, and so you don't want to make any exceptions. Obviously, you have to have a vision of how you want your team to look. In the salary cap era, you have a certain number of resources that you can allocate, whether it's money or draft picks, and so whenever you do something, you're taking it from somewhere else. I mean, there's no way at the stage we are with our team that we can do something major without it coming from somewhere else. So we have to make all those decisions, but I think to kind of put us in a box and say, hey, we're not going to play, and I'm not saying that you're saying that we're not going to pay because historically we haven't done that. I mean, part of what we do is evolve and look at things and see how things are affecting our team, how things are affecting the league, and seeing our place in that.
How are you?
You see, like, a lot of people say he usually don't pay the linebackers, but it sounds like something he's really considering. But again, back to what I was saying about the transition, is that if you lose Josh Sweat, I see a future in Jalis Hunt and Nolan Smith. If you lose, Milton Williams, you still got Jordan Davis, you got Mauro Jomo coming up. Hell, Thomas Booker is really good. And more than likely, we probably going to draft somebody early, defensive tackle. So you got somewhat of a replacement there. You lose like Avante Mattis or something like that. You got a piece in like Isaiah Rodgers you could possibly re-sign, or hell, just on the roster in general, like Cooper DeJean. or et cetera, right? You lose Darius Slay. Okay, you got Keely Ringo, or hell, if you resign Isaiah Rodgers on a nice deal, but you still got Keely Ringo on the roster right now. You lose Mekhi Becton. You guys know I love Mekhi Becton, but you got Tyler Steen, who can start for a lot of teams and be that replacement. So again, the only position, I'm like, it's no replacement right now is Zack Baun. And we don't know what Zack Baun is going to do, but if he resigns somewhere else, I think Howie Roseman is just putting it out there, like, be patient. We'll get somebody. So I hope that's not the case, but I get it. Zack Baun is a bit older, and he probably want to cash out. He probably want that big contract to cash out. And if Howie can't pay it, it is what it is. It's going to suck, but I want to count Howie out. I just wouldn't do it. Hell, Washington should be watching too. So there's multiple reports that the Eagles might snake Washington because we know what Washington's trying to do. So they trying to trade Jonathan Allen right now. He's on a trading block or release on whatever they trying to do because they want to open up a roster spot and free up money to possibly get Myles Garrett. And Jeremy Fowler came out with this report, and let me play this clip.
We could have a market here with a couple teams.
Okay, and then tell me why I should be thinking about Myles Garrett on the Eagles.
So way early, I'm connecting some dots here, admittedly, but this is a conversation that some people in the league have had, that the Philadelphia Eagles, one of the most aggressive, if not the most aggressive teams on the trade market, will be looking for a pass rusher. Josh Sweat, the Super Bowl likely or close MVP, could be out. The expectation is that he will sign elsewhere, so they're going to have a need there. Myles Garrett, they would not want to see him go to the Washington Commanders, for example. If that was to gain traction, Howie Roseman would likely step in, try to make a deal that is too hard for the Cleveland Browns to refuse. Keep it in mind here, the Browns are a hard no. They're still telling teams they have no interest in trading Myles Garrett. If he were to become available, several teams will be in that. Maybe the Eagles will be one.
So he's saying, like, look, Howie is not going to let the division rival get better. He would do everything in his power, and hell, if it comes down to it, he will offer to the Browns that they can't refuse. Now, is that trading like Nolan Smith? I hope not. Is that trading Jalen Hunt? I hope not. Is that trading like Jordan Davis? I hope not. But he's not going to let Washington just get better like that. So, you know, Howie Roseman do these things. I remember a couple years ago, it was a guy who was in between the 49ers and the Eagles. I can't think of the guy. And Howie Roseman was putting in offers, also the 49ers. And I keep forgetting a player. They just end up not trading a player. But Howie Roseman put in certain offers just to stop the 49ers to getting this particular player. Let me know in the comments who it is. But I remember a couple years ago, it was like a bidding war between the Eagles and the 49ers. And Howie was just like, no, I'm not going to let the 49ers get better. And I think that's this point. Like, look, I'm just not going to let the Commanders get better. Hell, we can use a defensive end too. So I'll be putting offers too. And that's why they saying the Eagles might sneak it, because Eagles should sit back like, okay, you know, we don't got Myles Garrett. They do it is what it is. But Eagles not sitting back and just letting that happen. Absolutely not. And I'm with Howie Roseman with this one. But last but certainly not least, A.J. Brown, another clip for $1 million worth of game. Micah Parsons wanted to be an Eagle, but let me play this clip.
I think Micah want to be an Eagle too.
He do. He want to be Eagle bad.
He love Philly.
He be on the phone with Slay and all that shit. And I didn't even like, I'm going to keep it real, I ain't like that. Slay, don't be talking to them Dallas Cowboys during the season. I'm going to keep it all the way real, Slay. I love you. You know you my man. Don't be talking to them during the season.
Listen though.
We don't
a
like
lot
them.
of us. Listen. That's one thing about Philly fans. They just like that. But like, you got to understand, like, the player who you talking to. It's a different era, bro. It's a different time. I understand it's like rivalries and stuff, but we on the field. It's like, all right, yeah, I'm at your head, but after that, it's like, it is what it is. Like,
Y'all do not.
As you see, they talked about Micah Parsons, the Cowboys, and also the fans and why we are so passionate or whatever. But Micah Parsons do put out hints like he want to go somewhere else, like he want to be an Eagle. He talk about Saquon a lot. He talk about the Eagles being this Avengers team. They always talk about the Eagles players getting paid and there's no problems. I mean, I don't know what Micah want to do. I really don't. I think he's too chatty patty. I don't like the culture he will be coming from if he comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not one of those fans or content creators that was on the big on go get Micah Parsons. I mean, it's just a character thing. It's the character thing. I think he's a phenomenal player, but he doesn't show up in the playoffs. And again, like his antics, his podcast, and we got players that got podcasts on the Eagles, but he do a little too much, man. It would be a field day with him. Like as a content creator, yes, he would give me a lot of content if he was on the Eagles. But as a fan, it's like, bro, like, nah, I don't think I want him to be an Eagle. But that's all I got for you guys today. Hey, man, what do you think? How do you feel about the news? Howie Roseman talked about him a lot, banning the tush push. Micah Parsons being the Eagle. But this is Eagle Owl. I'm out.